Hello, today my name is Jamel, by the way. I will be talking about rethinking democracy with a veteran perspective as well as a US citizen. So, what is basically like the meaning of democracy, and especially during this time where actually the values go against basically, the behaviors of certain leaders, and then where we actually ask questions and then we don't have any answers basically. So the reflection basically is focused on reflection on the justice system, the government, as well as the meaning of democracy for the citizen, as well as a veteran who was supposed to guard who's the guardian of actually the constitution and the country against all foreign and domestic enemies of the country. So as I mentioned, I've encountered a situation where, I was wrongfully terminated, and then I actually had a case just in court, and the justice system has been delayed for almost 2 years, which leads me to multiple questions and kind of like just have an introspection. And it seems like justice has been denied so far. So let's jump into the question and reflection. So, what happens when leaders, judges, and lawyers extend basically legal procedure to avoid accountability? Reflection that goes with it is basically, democracy is supposed to be impartial to ensure like the efficiency of the legal system, which shouldn't be biased, so that public trust shouldn't be corrupted, and to actually encourage the public trust. But so far I haven't seen that, so which raise my questions all the time. So, and also along with the same idea comes silencing people who speak up, like whistleblowers. After observing like the situation at hand, there's been like a lot of like gang stalking, targeting tactics basically to silence me basic regarding the issue at hand. And also it was even further when certain people actually, like, I don't know if it was the federal government that went to the property, and they actually got access in the property, which was really like against the law. So it was around the same time. So now the question is there still democracy when, speaking out against corruption leads to gang stalking or harassment? Because, as a veteran, I'm guardian of, you know, domestic and foreign, you know, terrorists. So if, I speak up against corruption and I get silenced for that, that means am I really like guarding the true value of what democracy is? So the reflection that I have is like free speech, which is the pillar of democracy. So if targeting like voices, undermines the basic foundation of what this country stands for, are we really still in a democratic system and country? So I'll let you just figure that out for yourself. And also, as a veteran, I'm a patriot because I actually give myself for the people and then serve, basically. But again, even then, being a law-abiding citizen to promote like, patriotism, but there are certain people who use their position, which, you know, which is also known for gatekeepers to and abuse their power, just, because they have this position. And that leads me to, another question. Are we really like in a democratic like system? Because that shouldn't be the case, because it goes basically against the true principle of what the Constitution, believes in or stipulates. So the reflection on that would be like true patriotism calls for upholding the Constitution and protecting every citizen, not enabling like oppression. So if like, justice has been delayed as a tactic, to just buy 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 the time so that they can actually study the behavior of the people, the people involved. That leads me to another question. Is democracy valid if, it takes almost up to like 2 to 3 years for a citizen's voice to be heard, even though they still pay taxes, whether they're employed or not employed, even they have business or not, because every day they contribute, to the economy of the country by, buying stuff, paying insurance. Those are also, hidden taxes. But the people in position of power who were elected, they get paid basically by taxpayers' money, which we contribute to. So if those people in position of power don't do what their job basically, but they're still getting paid from taxpayers' money, are we wrong for standing up and keeping them accountable? Because they should actually be accountable for that. And then also, as a veteran, that's actually a slap in the face, because I took the oath to defend this country, but there are certain people who actually goes against that, and then we're just gonna be there like watching them. That shouldn't be the case. So that's why this presentation is all about. And again, the whistleblowing and retaliation. Basically, in a true democracy, whistleblower or truth teller shouldn't be punished. They should actually be protected against those type of behaviors. And then in a democratic society, whistleblowers should be heroes, not target. And maybe we should redefine what, democracy is all about, because what we see here is not the case. So, and to conclude, that's just the driving force behind the Zabatissu concept, which is actually uh, the knowledge linked with like a fabric to have like a cohesive environment in which like we we actually operate in. Thank you very much for the time, and then I hope you have some input and feedback. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.